Back to the program. My name is Carl Jackson. Before I go on to Joe Biden, I just want to rip into Kamala Harris for another segment here. I'm going to share some things with you. Lou's got my back right here. AM 950, TheAnswerOrlando.com. Sean McConnell is in my ear. We have Alejo working the video and Zach on the lines helping out with research. Thank you, guys. I want to play video clip number one. This is Kamala Harris. This lady is an utter disaster. She has absolutely no intention, and she's not capable of it as well, of making your life better if she were to become the president of the United States. But also, she has no intentions of it. I'll prove it in just a sec. But let's go ahead and roll this. Video clip number one, por favor, Mr. McConnell.
So as Leah told you, before I was elected vice president, before I was elected United States Senator, I was elected Attorney General of the state of California, and I was a courtroom prosecutor before then. And in those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pimps out there that know your type. Now, hat tip to the New York Post. Kamala Harris's campaign vetting VP candidates, but one major name not on the list. Now, why is this important? Because Kamala Harris is telling you exactly how she would govern. All right, so Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign has asked for vetting materials from a number of potential VP picks. I got to admit, I'm surprised by one of the names that are on the list. But there's one name that isn't on the list, and this is very telling. So I'll get to that in just a second. But here are some of the other names in the VP stakes, if you will, for Kamala Harris. All right, so they include Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. Arizona Senator Mark Kelly was an astronaut, but he looks like a Martian. I'm not sure if he would fit the role of VP. And I am trying to be somewhat funny, but it is true. If you've ever seen him stand, if he were to stand next to J.D. Vance, I think they would lose the election just based on that. Then you have North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. And he's a radical lefty trying to pretend like he's a moderate, and he's nowhere near a moderate. He is a lefty, all right? Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, who frankly I think would be the better pick for Democrats, but they don't like Jewish people, too many of their constituents, so he won't be the pick, I'm pretty sure. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who said she's backing Kamala Harris for president. I'm kind of surprised that her name is on here. I'm not sure that would be beneficial for the left, even having two women. Perhaps it would. That's a new narrative. But who knows? Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. All of these have been considered. But many people are surprised that there's one name that was not on that VP list, and that is Governor Andy Beshear of Kentucky. Now, here's what happened. Apparently, Kamala Harris reached out to Governor Beshear and asked if he wanted to be added onto the list, considered for the VP job. And he said he would but he added that he would only do it or only consider it if the VP job, if he felt he could help the people of Kentucky in that position. He said, the only reason I'd ever consider something else is if I felt that I could help my people in Kentucky more in a different role, or that there was a chance to move past the partisanship, the constant fighting. Click. No need to put him on the list. They don't want to move past the partisanship. They don't want to move past the constant fighting, because that's all Kamala Harris had. You just watched that video clip of her. Any solutions? Any solutions? She knows how to indict the case, basically, against former President Trump. Any solutions? No, she doesn't have any solutions. That lady would be a disaster in the White House. Biden is a disaster. I hope he's lucid enough to understand, how bad of a disaster he is. They did him dirty. He got what he deserved, but let's be real. The Democrats did him dirty. Kamala Harris did him dirty. All right, let's talk about this real quick. because apparently Kamala Harris raised $230 million. And she raised this in just 24 hours, guys. She raised $230 million in 24 hours. Yet, Chuck U. Schumer, when he announced to a crowd of Democrats that she was going to be the nominee, basically, crickets. Crickets. No applause whatsoever. That's how excited the Democrat Party is. No one claps. Here's a headline on Breitbart. No one claps as Chuck U. Schumer, they don't have to you, but I do. Chuck U. Schumer endorses Harris for president. Ask for applause. He asked for applause, and still no one claps. So $230 million raised overnight. Apparently, more than 880,000 people donated during that time. The Harris campaign announced it had raised $81 million through the Democrats' online fundraising platform, Act Blue, in just 24 hours after launching her campaign. Hat tip to the Daily Wire. The New York Times reported more than 80,000 people donated during that time. 43,000 donors pledged to make recurring donations. And then you read this. Right here in my formerly fingerprinted fingertips. As the column goes on, big money donors also contributed $150 million during the same time period to Future Forward. $230 million she raised, $150 million coming from mega donors. That 880,000 people that donated, $81 million in 24 hours. Chuck U. Schumer can't get Democrats to applaud as he endorses Harris for president. I wonder if that $80 million is part of that $90 million that was frozen that the DNC was keeping away from Joe Biden. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. I'm just curious. But she has secured the delegates, Kamala Harris is, to become president. Hat tip Daily Wire. VP Kamala Harris has secured enough delegates to officially become the Democrat Party's presidential nominee when the delegates cast their votes. Again, I believe they are dating this chick. They're not going to put a ring on it as of yet. But I do believe this makes it easier. And I honestly, as disastrous as she is, she won't be an easy fight. As Byron York writes later on in his column, Republicans should not take Kamala Harris lightly. And they should not take Kamala Harris lightly simply because she has name recognition. She has name recognition. No, I'm not talking about downtown Willie Brown, Sean. She has name recognition. All right. Millions of people are going to vote for her already off the bat. And they're going to vote for her not because she'll do anything to help the country, but because they're motivated by hate. They're motivated by fear, many of these voters. And so many voters, as much as we dislike it, are going to be willing to vote for Kamala Harris. They're going to be willing to vote for Democrats simply because they've been told to hate Donald Trump. They've been told to hate you because you love America and because you're voting for Trump. This is where we're at. But apparently she needed, what was it? The AP reported that Harris secured the backing of more than 1,976 delegates, the number she would need to reach to win the nomination. So she is the presumptive nominee for the Democrat Party. So we just need to destroy her. We need to expose. I mean, listen, metaphorically speaking, expose her for the fraud that she is, for the disastrous candidate that she's been, how bad she and Joe Biden have been for America. She has no accomplishments. She's the border czar. She wants to get rid of the Trump tax cuts. When I just read you these headlines, how cars are being repoed left and right now. People are struggling. 39% of Americans struggling to pay their bills. But she wants to make sure that Washington has more money and you have less money. She wants more illegals coming in to replace. It's funny to me that Whoopi Goldberg, that Joy Reid won't outline the border crisis, the Biden-Harris border crisis that is impacting Black, Latino communities, urban communities, right? But you're a sellout if you vote for Trump. Meanwhile, the people doing the most damage to those neighborhoods are Biden and Harris. It's a shame. Don't vote Democrat. If you want a future for America, do not vote Democrat. We'll be back. Today's show is brought to you in part by Priority Gold. Economists warn that massive tax hikes could devastate your IRA and your 401k account as the stock market braces for impact. With inflation on the rise and global uncertainty looming, it's clear why central banks and savvy Americans are turning to gold. In times like this, Proverbs 21:20 reminds us to preserve what we built. Right now, that wisdom points us towards gold. If you haven't had your eye on gold, time to make it a priority. My name is Carl Jackson, and I am urging you to call my friends at Priority Gold to find out how they can help you diversify your savings with physical gold and silver. Call 1-800-405-GOLD or visit PriorityGold.com/golden for a free gold info guide. Plus, see if you qualify for free shipping and storage. Act now to get your portfolio working for you while the market is golden. Welcome back to the program. Oh, there's other headlines. Enthusiastic crowd chants "Lock him up" as Kamala Harris leans into prosecutor attack on Trump at first campaign rally. That's all they've got, guys. That is all they have. They've got. I'll get into the shooter in a second. Also, Benjamin Netanyahu was not greeted by anyone. I mean, the left is they're just disgusting. They are disgusting people. We've got to if you want this country to return to sanity, if you want to return to some civility. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of you out there that have been brainwashed. You've watched the J6 video that was largely made up by Hollywood elites and working with the DNC. You think Trump is the most evil thing out there, and J6ers, but J6ers are regular, everyday Americans, hardworking Americans. A grandmother that has gone to jail for literally walking into the Capitol, praying for a couple of minutes, and walking out. She gets sent to jail. I mean, come on, people, come on. This is what should disgust you. This is what should disgust you. Lou just recently walked in with some popcorn. It smells so good. So, Lou, I hope I don't make you throw up. All right. So this is a story about Brittany Griner. You guys know the WNBA star that nobody would have known had she not become a prisoner of Vladimir Putin for having illegal drugs, that she shouldn't have had while she was in Russia, playing out there. And then we have Evan Gershkovich, I believe is his name, that's just recently been sentenced to 16 years in a penal code in Russia. I mean, that is, I watched a video on some of the prisons in Russia, the harsh ones that are, I pray to God that Trump gets in for his release, and also so a lot of these J6ers can be released. But here's a story that might make you throw up. Certainly made me want to throw up. But this is Team USA's Brittany Griner wants a new baby to call her Pops instead of Mom. That's a mental disorder. No. That's child abuse. No. That is brainwashing. No. WNBA star, who wouldn't be a star if she didn't go to jail, in my opinion, and her partner, it says wife, I'm sorry, I refuse to say that bull crap, and her partner now have a new baby boy, but Brittany has clarified that she does not want to be called Mom. In an interview with CBS Sports, Griner noted that she would rather be called Pops. So she wants her child to participate in her mental dysfunction. A CBS reporter noted that Griner is about to take on a new job, one that is really hard and really scary, quote unquote, with the birth of her first child with her partner, Cheryl. The couple had a little boy. I don't know how they had a little boy since neither one of them have a freaking penis. But so allegedly they had a boy, but they did not publicly comment on the birth until last week. But now Griner But now that they do, but now that they too have had a few weeks with their new son, Griner reveals a bit more about their feelings over the birth, and one tidbit appears to be the roles the two intend to take on. I'm sorry. I got to tell you guys, I don't know that I've ever shared this story on air. I have a friend. He recently lived in California. They couldn't take it anymore, so they bounced. They adopted two little boys that were the children of murderers. All right, it was a crazy situation. They took these boys in, and these boys had been through living a horrific lifestyle with their parents, and they were young. Both of them were, I think, around the age of 5, maybe 4 and 6 or 5 or something like that when they initially took them in, or maybe one was closer to 7. I can't really recall. But they were in the developmental years, but old enough to understand some of the things, or not completely understand, but they knew some of the things that were going on, right? They were in a bad situation. They were going in and out of foster homes. They were having a hard time with the kids because the kids had grown up in a rough life. Their parents were murderers, both of them. Both of them. My buddy, his wife, took them in. They had 2 daughters. It took them literally about a year counseling, taking them to church, getting them to trust them, giving them chores, helping them to learn responsibility, to blend in with the family, doing stuff with them. One of the boys used to be so hard, he finally broke. He would be willing to hold their hand and hug my buddy and all this kind of stuff. You know what the state of California did? When they were ready to adopt, they said, we want these boys. Their daughters have fell in love with them. These are our little brothers. So when they were ready to adopt, the state of California sent some chick in to go ahead and take away the kids because they decided, they were a Christian traditional family. They decided to take those kids away and give those little boys to 2 gay dudes. Screw lefties. They try to pretend, they try to make the immoral moral. Brittany Griner, you are a sick witch. You are a mentally deranged, sick witch. And you're a woman. You just happen to be a tall one that can dribble a basketball. You are a woman. You are not a man. You will never, ever be a man. So sick of this. So I'm are you seriously? I'm just, let's just have a moment. I'm just sick of this crap. We've been living through this divisiveness, this making the immoral moral. Going back to the Obama administration. The Obama administration turned the black church on and black leaders on to the LGBTQ community, trying to make everything the same. I'm sorry. If I walk out the door, it's not a sin to be black. I'm just being real. It's not a sin to be black. This is sin. And you know what? The left and the gay community even knows it. If you want to be honest, they know it. They battle with it too. I'm not saying I'm not better than them. You're not better than them. We all have our own struggles. But I'm sorry, this is sin. Straight up sin. And we all know it. And they know it. That's why they fight so hard to make it moral. Because they know that it's immoral. I'm sorry, man. I did not like this chick. Now I can't stand her even more. And she shouldn't be a mother to any child, quite frankly, thinking like that. She's mentally deranged. All right, my name is Carl Jackson. We'll be back in a few. I'll take your calls. Guys, I want to talk to you about wealth protection research. At the very heart of our democracy lies a principle that we hold sacred. It's free speech. It's the cornerstone that supports every freedom that we cherish. Yet in today's digital age, discussions about our wealth, our rights, and our future are being silenced or overshadowed in mainstream narratives, leaving many feeling voiceless in conversations crucial to our financial independence and security. This is where wealth protection research steps in. They're armed with a mission that's never been more critical. Wealth protection research is not a financial advisory firm. They are defenders of free speech, committed to giving a voice to the silence. Wealth protection research tirelessly seeks out financial experts. These are the voices that challenge prevailing narratives, especially as we navigate the uncertainties of the 2024 election. Wealth protection research has created a 2024 election wealth protection report. This free report highlights the 3 best ideas for protecting and growing your money heading into the 2024 election. It contains ideas the mainstream media won't touch, and listeners can get it completely free. All you have to do is text the word ideas to 76626 to claim your free copy. If you believe in the sanctity of free speech and the importance of financial freedom, act now. Text the word ideas to 76626 to claim your free copy of this 2024 election protection report. It's time to widen the scope of what we're told, to hear the ideas the establishment does not think you can handle, and to take control of our financial destinies. Text ideas to 76626 to claim your free copy. If you text the word ideas today, you'll also get a free gold investment kit from Wealth Protection Research, sponsored by Augusta Precious Metals. My name is Carl Jackson. You can find me online at The Carl Jackson Show. Please follow me. I'm on X. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, True Social, Getter. I'm mostly on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Those are the places where you'll find me the most. All right. But also, please subscribe to my podcast, The Carl Jackson Show. And I have been doing podcasts in the evenings, but since I'm in for Tatum, what we're doing is just repurposing some of these segments for the podcast. So if you've enjoyed what you're hearing, please subscribe to my podcast. You can share some of the things that I've been saying here with your friends, with your family. And hopefully you'll be motivated to continue to fight for this nation. I hope that I've been able to do that with you, and I'm appreciative of this time behind Officer Tatum's microphone. Let's do this. Let's go to Brent. Brent is in Los Angeles. Brent, welcome to the Officer Tatum Show. You got the mic.
God's beloved Pastor Carl.
Thank you, Brent.
You know, I want to encourage all righteous American patriots to start thinking and speaking less about the miracle God bestowed upon our blessed President Trump and think more about the miracle God delivered to us, our families, our friends, and our country on that day when God's light overwhelmed the devil's darkness. Because President Trump, God's ambassador, dodged a bullet, but even more, we dodged the devil. That bullet was pointed at us. God saved us. We must take this personally because God delivers miracles only to his children who have or will earn them. And the devil has many more bullets. If we don't get God on our side soon, we may have no protector from the next bullet.
Man, Brent, I got to tell you, greatly said, and to your point, I've argued that God gave Trump a second chance, but he gave America a second chance. So anyway, I mean, you worded it a lot more eloquently than I could have. So I appreciate the call. All right, the number to call in, 844-900-7243, 844-900-7243. Man, that was a great analogy there. 844-900-7243. Real quick, Trump announces plans to meet with Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago because the Democrats apparently haven't. They didn't meet Benjamin Netanyahu. This is our only ally in the Middle East. Our only ally in the Middle East. The Democrat Party is full of amateurs. It is a total joke. They have been co-opted by radical leftists. This is not the same Democrat Party that existed even during Barack Obama's era. Even, remember, he was slowly but surely taking the Democrat Party to the left. Now, she gone. They are to the, I'm going the wrong way. They are to the left. They are to the left. Listen, so hat tip, thank you, Zach. Republican presidential nominee, former President Donald Trump announced plans on Tuesday to welcome Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at his Mar-a-Lago resort later this week after years of strife between the duo. Hey, Jewish people, remember this. The Democrat Party hates you. I'm actually surprised that Shapiro is on the VP list, but I almost wonder, I doubt if he would get it. I think he would be the best pick by far. I doubt that he would get it simply because they have an anti-Semitic problem within the Democrat Party. I hope you guys have come to realize this, and it's not going to get better until they lose, the Democrats do, and they lose severely. Anyway, Trump and Netanyahu are going to be meeting at Mar-a-Lago later this week. They've had some years of strife between the two since Trump has been out. But Netanyahu touched down in Washington, D.C. yesterday. And he has a really tough week ahead, including meetings with top officials, obviously, and an address to the joint session of Congress. That'll happen tomorrow. And then he will meet with Trump on Friday. Apparently, they were supposed to meet on Thursday initially, but there was some type of scheduling conflict. Trump wrote on True Social, quote, "Looking forward to welcoming Bibi Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. During my first term, we had peace and stability in the region, even signing the historic Abraham Accords." He also said, just as I have said, Trump has, and I'm quoting, "Just as I have said in discussions with President Zelensky and other world leaders in recent weeks, my peace through strength agenda will demonstrate to the world that these horrible, deadly wars and violent conflicts must end." Do you guys trust Kamala Harris to make that happen? Yeah. The lady that won't even meet with Benjamin Netanyahu in public. If you're a Jewish person, I don't even know how you could bother, why you would bother voting for any of these Democrats. They're all complicit. Just stick a face on it. It doesn't matter. They all believe the same crap. This is a left-wing radical party. We'll be back. You might have heard Mike Lindell and MyPillow no longer have the support of the big box stores or the shopping channels that they used to. They've been part of this cancel culture, so they want to pass savings directly on to you, my listeners. They have a $25 extravaganza. When Mike started MyPillow, it was just one product, but with the help of his dedicated employees, they now have hundreds of products, some that you may even know about. Obviously, you know about the MyPillow. So here's what Mike is doing to get the word out. I'm inviting my listeners to go to mypillow.com for their $25 extravaganza. They have a 2-pack multi-use My Pillows for just $25. My Pillow sandals are just $25. Their 6-pack towel sets are just $25. Brand new pack of dish towels, $25. So for the first time ever, the premium My Pillows with the all-new Giza fabric are just $25 as well. And orders over $75 receive free shipping. All you have to do to get this amazing offer is go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Carl, C-A-R-L, or give them a call, 800-858-0263. That's promo code Carl. All right, so this is the last tidbit here. I wanted to get more into the testimony with Cam Cheeto, but we just don't have time. I just talked too much about Kamala Harris. And I think it's, you know what, I think it's important. I think it's fitting. This lady could potentially become the next president of the United States of America. And again, I mean, you're already seeing polls that are tightening. And I believe that sometimes polls are created to shape the race. I think these polls have been reasonably accurate. Obviously, internal polling has been reasonably accurate, and that is why the left wanted to throw Joe Biden. Why the left wanted to throw Joe Biden under the bus. But make no mistake about it, as much as Kamala Harris is a disaster and would be a disaster for the country, she's going to get over 45%. As what I've read in the past is 40. She's going to start at 46%. All right, regardless, she's going to start at 46%. It is our job to make sure that she does not get much more than that. And Trump, honestly, has to get over 50%. So he's not quite there in some places. So that lets us know, even though he has momentum, he needs even more. And I am hopeful. I do believe that there are going to be some people that show up that polls don't account for. Those people that can't afford their car note, that can't afford their rent, that are sick and tired of the high gas prices and all this kind of stuff. They're going to come out and they're going to show up. That's what I'm hopeful. But we can make that happen. We can bring that to fruition. So make sure you tell somebody to go out and vote, and go out and vote early, and bring other people. All right, Number 6, how can you and your party justify disenfranchising the 14 million electors who voted for you in the 24 Democrat presidential primary? I ranted about this yesterday, and then I sat there and thought, these people locked people down, destroyed their lives, caused many jobs to be lost, and lost careers to be lost, and people were willing to vote for them anyway in 2022. And the Democrat Party, if you're voting for the Biden-Harris ticket, you probably don't care about morals. The only thing that you want to do is pretend that you're moral when you try to use the right's morals against us if we slip up, right? It's hard to fathom. But the more I thought about that, I'm like, yeah, of course they don't care. Sadly, because the left has made everything that is immoral moral. Number 7, if the suspension of your candidacy is due to health-related reasons, how can you justify finishing the rest of your term as president? He won't have an answer for that, except that that's the deal, I'm sure, that was made behind the scenes. Number 8, if the suspension of your candidacy is due to health problems, when did you, your campaign, and White House officials, including VP Harris, learn of these issues, and why did you and your team hide them from the American people? That's a question that Trump needs to pose to Harris, and I hope he gets the opportunity to do this. We'll have to finish this up tomorrow. Until next time, don't grow weary doing good. God bless you.